Hi, guys. I hope you all are having a beautiful morning, afternoon, or evening. Today is just me and the mic. I felt the need to talk to you guys about a topic that's been on my mind a lot lately. I'm in a season of my life where I'm really focusing on health, wellness, and spirituality, and this topic really falls in line with that. So, we are going to be talking about why I think people, including myself, should pray more and talk less. I wrote a little something. If you've been listening to Chiquis and Chill lately, I have been doing a lot of writing and just expressing my feelings in that way. And I've been trying to do it a little bit more on the podcast. So I wrote a little something and then I'll break it down and I'll give you some personal experiences because anything I talk about on this podcast, it's because I'm either going through it, it's something I want to change, something I went through, etc. So like I said, it is also a note to myself because I also want to remind myself to do that more because, sometimes we're like, oh, I want to vent. Anyway, we'll get into that. The point is, this is what I wrote. Not everything needs to be shared. Not every thought needs a witness. Some storms are meant to be calmed in silence, on your knees, with your hand on your heart and your soul in surrender. You don't have to explain it. You don't have to fix it with words. Sometimes the most powerful thing to do is nothing at all. And trust that God heard the tear that never fell. Vent less, breathe more. Don't feed the fear with your voice. Feed your faith in stillness. I wrote this the other day because I was listening to a sermon that my sister Jackie sent me actually in our group chat, in our sibling group chat. And it talked a little bit about this. It talked about us always feeling the need to vent. And I've done it. I do it all the time. I rant. Even on social media, I've done it. Where I'm like, I'm just gonna let my fingers talk on Twitter, or I'm just gonna do a little rant on stories, and I've done that. And it makes me feel better. And it's crazy because I'm like, oh, pray more, talk less, and I have a podcast, right? I talk a lot. I love it. I love to express myself. I love to share things with you. But I'm talking about when we have an issue or we're going through something. And this just happened the other day, guys. Just happened literally 2 days ago. I have been dealing with a little issue, actually a pretty big issue, with someone that was in my life, someone that I don't even want to say exactly what because I don't even want to go there, but someone that was in my life, things didn't work out. She disappointed me very much. I heard that she was talking a lot of things, a lot of nonsense, a lot of things that aren't true. And I know that this is true because I know her character and I know how she is because she would do it with me. She would call and vent to me about other people and just talk bad about people and then turn around and she was cool with them, which is why I said, you know what? I'm going to stay away from this person. This person is not good news. And she happened to come up in a conversation that I was having, right? And I had told myself, I'm not going to talk about this anymore. Like, I'm done with it. I'm not going to bring any more light to it. And it's going to make the situation bigger. And what I want is for it to go away. But I fell into the trap. And we were talking and I got all reheated all over again because this person told me, hey, now that we're talking about this, I want to be open with you. And I want to tell you some things that this person told me. And I already knew in my heart, I know how she is. She probably talked crap about me. If she calls me to talk crap about everyone else, she's probably talking bad about me. But I never asked because I was like, I don't want to know. But we were having the conversation and we were in it. And she told me, she said this about you. And she told this other person that you were jealous of her. It was just all this, honestly, at the end of the day, I think about it, it was very, very childish. Like the whole thing, it's very, I guess, high school, if you want to call it, because I'll explain later. And then this other person chimed in and she said, oh my gosh, yes, I heard that too. And these people are from two completely different worlds. And I said, oh my gosh, this girl's just going around just talking crap. Not that I care because I promise you, I thank God I've gotten to this point where I'm like, I don't care what you think about me. I don't care what you feel. Like, I know who I am. Not that I don't care what you feel, but I'm like, what you feel about me, I like, especially if it's not real. It's not the truth. But I don't know why I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't said anything. I let this person off the hook because I could have literally caused her life a lot of financial turmoil without getting into detail. And I'm like, dude, she's still saying these things And I think in that moment, God was like, okay, what are you going to do with this? You just heard a sermon talking about praying and taking it to God, letting go and letting God, right? And you're getting all rattled up. Like, you know what to do, Janae. But I ignored that little voice. And I said, oh, I'm going to tell this bitch off, That's what I said. I was like, I'm going to freaking let her know what I feel because I just felt the need. I need to let her know. I need to tell her. Not everything needs to be said, guys. And I sure did. I did. I put these two people in a group chat and I said, I don't want, because I'm very direct. I am like, especially if you're talking not the truth on my name. I have a whole book on it because there were so many things, guys, that were said about me. And I wanted to set the story straight. And I feel like that was a season in my life. We're not there anymore. It's fine. Think what you will. It's cool. You'll get to know me, right? So it took a lot of work to get here. But I'm human and I fall off track sometimes. And I went ahead and I made this group chat and I put these two people in there and I said, hey, I just want you to know, blah, 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 blah. I did not say this, blah, blah. Like I was very stern, straightforward. And it just, at the end of the day, everything I said was just unnecessary. It was necessary for me, I feel, in the moment because I'm like, I just need to set the story straight. And that's what I said. I was like, voy a aclarar. I'm going to clear something up because I introduced you guys. And the fact that this person is saying this to you and trying to make me look bad. And I'm like, I just want you to know that's not true. I never said that. I would never do that because I'm like, I'm not we're grown, But in a way, I also felt like what I'm doing is not too grown either. Like it's in the past. It happened months ago, 5 months ago. Just leave it alone. That's what I feel I should have done. Anyway, I did that. The other person, of course, just got all rattled up and said all kinds of things and whatever. It is what it is. And I just said, at the end of the day, you're right. This doesn't even matter. Why am I bringing this up? What did I gain out of this? Because I thought I felt better. I'm like, okay, I'm going to vent. I'm going to let it be known. And then the next day I woke up very heavy and I was praying and I almost felt like, I think I want to apologize and say, hey, it was unnecessary. Not apologize for what I said because what I said was true, but it's unnecessary to bring that up. I'm not trying to also stir up things between you guys because that's not the point. But sometimes I'm like, I don't have to defend myself. God will defend me. God will show these people who I am, and they will see it on their own with time because people always show their true colors. But there I am wanting to take control of the narrative and it's it's something that it's hard. It's hard to do, especially when you're a person that likes to do things right and treat people the way you want to be treated. And it's disappointing to see how people can be. And it's disheartening because you gave the person so much love and not only love, so much opportunity and introduced this person to so many people and in a way kind of set them up. And for them to do you that way, you feel like I got to let it be known. But God reminded me, I guess I just apologized to myself and I'm like, it's okay. You're a human. It was a moment and everyone was there and you heard it and it was just kind of it fired you up. And I had to just excuse myself and I asked for forgiveness. I was like, God, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I did that. I was not being my best self and I need to pray more. I just need to pray about it. I think in that moment I should have said, you know what? It doesn't even matter what they said. Let's not even talk about that. Let's just talk about something else. I should have been that person because that's something I'm practicing right now about not gossiping and stuff like that. And it's hard, guys, because we're women and not only women, men love it too. They probably love it more than women, actually. But we like to talk, and sometimes you go to dinner and you're like, what are we going to talk about? Let's chismear. Let's talk about this person, blah, blah, blah. And I want to steer away from that because the conversations I want to have moving forward is how can we grow? How can we be better? And I had told myself, I'm going to be better at that. I'm going to tell people, hey, the person's not here. Let's not talk about that person, or that's not something I want to talk about right now. Let's talk about something positive. And I didn't do that. And not that the other people were wrong. In their mind, they were like, I'm being loyal to Janae and I got to tell her these things that I've been carrying in my heart because it's heavy. But I should have been like, I get it. Thank you for wanting to tell me, but it's not necessary. We're cool. I don't care about that anymore. But instead, I did the complete opposite and it didn't make me feel good. I didn't have peace in my heart, which is why I woke up thinking about it at freaking 5 a.m. And I'm like, okay, what did I do yesterday that didn't make me feel so good? Because I'm waking up with a heavy heart. And I went back and it was that. When I was praying, I'm like, oh, I just heard about the sermon. I just heard about this. I should know better. And I fell into it. Okay, cool. And instead of beating myself up about it, though, I said, I'm going to do a podcast about it. I'm going to do a freaking episode on it because I think it happens to all of us. And I think we just need to be more intentional about being a little bit better with not letting that negativity when it comes and knocks on our door. Don't let it in. Stop it at the door and just say, hey, I don't want this. I'm going to close it. Because and then it brings a whole world of other issues. And now I'm like, how dumb did I probably sound to these people? Like, okay, the girl that happened so long ago, why are you bringing this up right now? And I can admit that. I am like, okay, cool. It was unnecessary. I wasn't being my best self and I almost apologized. But then I'm like, knowing that other person, she's probably going to think I'm excusing her behavior and that's not what I want to do. So I'm just going to, in my prayer, in my silence, pray to God, ask for forgiveness, forgive myself, and just learn from it and make an episode out of it. So that's why I wanted to talk to you guys about this because it just happened to me and it is something that is very difficult. And I want you guys to catch it before it makes you feel the way that it made me feel in that moment. When I'm feeling these things, what I've been doing is like in my notes in my phone, I'm just like writing things to remind myself and topics. So if I go in my notes and I see something that, I don't know, writing has been helping a lot. So anyway, my point is, this is something I've been learning on a deeper level. And it's not everything needs to be shared, processed, or vented. It's good to vent, but sometimes like do it with the therapist, do it with a life coach, do it with someone that's going to give you some like tools or some advice to say, hey, calm down, slow down. And I hope that this can also help you, my little poem or whatever it is that I wrote. Sometimes the most healing thing we can do is to take a breath and take it to God. Because the more we talk about it, the more we feed it, the more we rehash it, the more energy we give it and we make it bigger. Even when the intention is pure, even when we're talking to someone we trust, there's a difference between sharing and surrendering. So this episode is an invitation to pause before picking up the phone, to sit with yourself before spiraling into stories, to pray more and talk less. Not out of fear, not out of silence, but out of wisdom, out of trust, out of knowing that your spirit doesn't need an audience. It needs alignment. Just to be fair, part of this is for my devotional. That I didn't write all of it. A lot of it is for my devotional, but I wanted to share it with you guys because it really hit me and I'm like, whoa, yeah, I'm getting older. I don't want to bring that energy into my life and things are always going to happen and people are always going to talk. And I went through that season already. I felt the need to defend my name and to set the story straight. And I don't feel that I want to do that for the rest of my life. I am at a place where I know who I am. I know what I'm about. I know that I wake up every morning and I want to treat people better and I want to do the right things. And like I always say, treat people the way you want to be treated. And people will get to know me if they want to get to know me. And if they don't, they won't. And that's it. And it doesn't freaking matter. And I'm not just talking about chismes and, things that happen with friends and all this, high school stuff. Because the girl, she actually told me when she listened to my voice notes, because I sent voice notes, okay? Because I'm like, I want you to listen to my voice because I don't want anything to be misconstrued and blah, blah, blah. So she sent a voice note back and she was pretty upset, of course. And she's like, this is so high school. And I'm like, I guess she's right. But I'm like, whatever. But I'm like, yeah, she's right. And I can admit it and it's okay. So I'm not just talking about that kind of stuff. I'm talking about problems. Like, again, I like to use personal experiences because I feel like that's what resonates more. So I like to give you guys examples. But this whole thing that I kind of talked about a little bit with you guys about my siblings, it was very heavy on my heart and I cried a lot about it. I just cried about it 2 days ago again. Like it's just, things aren't as, I guess, I don't even know what normal would be things have just changed. I'm not going to get into it again, but I like people would ask me and I'd be like, it's because my siblings and this and that. And like, not everyone, but like my friends or I would talk to Emilio about it over and over. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to tire him out either. So I just stopped. I said, you know what? That's it. If I'm going to cry, I'm going to cry. And Emilio's like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to talk about it. I'm good. And I would just pray. And I just prayed and I've been praying my way through it and I feel better. Instead of talking and talking and talking and going in circles and like trying to get someone to tell me something, like it's like sometimes you don't need someone to tell you what to do or what the right thing is. It's just silence and just like listening to your inner thoughts or not at all and just saying, you know what? God, I'm sad today. And that's it. Like, I don't know what to do about the situation. Can you fix it? Like, that's it. Or the prayer, the serenity prayer. Oh my gosh, guys, I love that. That's been helping me so much. It is God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I love this so much because I don't know if you guys knew. I didn't know. I just learned a few years back. But this serenity prayer is not like from the Bible. It is from like, I think AA, I believe. I'm not sure, but it's not in the Bible. Anyway, I don't know where I found this years ago. I had it on my wall and I want to actually get it tatted on me somewhere. I don't know where, but I mean, it's amazing. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Because there's a lot of things out of our control. There's a lot of things that we can't change, right? The courage to change the things that I can. Yes, we want to be better versions of ourselves. We're going to change what we can. And the wisdom to know the difference between the two. And that's what I told myself with the whole situation with my siblings, or maybe the things that are going on with other things that I don't want to talk about. But I'm always going to talk to you guys, of course, right? Because we're here to change the world. Anyway, I've just been reciting this prayer and it makes me feel better. And I'm like, yeah, it's a little reminder of, you know what, not everything. Like, even if like you go to dinner and they're like, hey, what's going on in your life? Nothing. Even if something is going on, be like, I have some stuff going on, but I don't really want to talk about it. Like, it's cool. Like, I'm praying about it. So, but yeah, let's talk about the future. Or I want to get better at that, instead of going to dinner and just talking about all my problems. I felt bad because I don't know where I went the other day. Where did I go? Oh, we had like a girls, not the other day, it was like a few months ago. We had like a girls' little like staycation at my friend's house. And it was for my friends and their moms and stuff. So they needed to just kind of like be themselves, be women and not moms for a day. So we went to my friend's house. And that was like the beginning of when stuff was going a little weird with my siblings, And all I did was talk about it for like 2 hours. And I'm like, and then I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, you guys. I've just been talking about like all my problems. I felt so bad. And they're like, no, it's okay. I'm like, I just felt like I sat there and I'm like, oh my God, and this has been going on and I'm crying and the whole thing. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I felt so bad, guys, because I was like, my friends are trying to get away from their like daily lives. And here I am, And anyway, I'm human. It happens, guys. Let's not beat ourselves up about it, but let's correct ourselves. And that's what I just wanted to talk about because it is important and I think it's beautiful. Like there's another thing that I always say. I have so many phrases, huh? But I'm like, okay, if you're already on your knees, you might as well pray. If like you're on your knees because you are so torn apart and the life has made you fall onto your knees because you're hurt or you're heartbroken. Well, you're already there. You might as well pray and say, God, help me, So it's kind of like that. I don't know if that made any sense, but it made sense to me. I hope it makes sense to you. So I just wanted to talk about this. I wanted to talk about it because it is something that I have been dealing with and something that I want to correct and I want to get better with. And I know that, sometimes it's not going to be perfect and that's okay because life isn't meant to be perfect. It's meant to be lived and living and learning. And I'm still learning, y'all. I'm still learning. And I've come to realize, I've known this, but I think because I'm going through this season of recalibration, right? And rebirth, because I'm always constantly like wanting to become a better version of myself. And I think that's just life. We're evolving. We're always going to change. Things are going to change. Things are going to shift. And I'm barely starting to really, really, really not only understand that, but accept it. And just know that that's just life and it's going to happen and life is going to happen and we can't do anything about it. We just have to like kind of adjust. And that's kind of what I'm doing right now. And I will tell you that I have noticed physically more than anything the change and a difference because my neck, you guys, when all this was going on and when I would talk about it, I would instantly, I feel like your body tells you, and God in a way is telling you like, you need to stop talking about this or you need to just let this go, because I would just talk about it and my neck would start hurting. Like I had a neck pain for like 3 weeks, you guys, tight from like my temples all the way down to my shoulders. It was crazy. The knots I had when I got a massage, the lady was like, oh my goodness, how are you even functioning? And that was an indication. Like, I'm like, oh, I was ignoring that physical pain that my body was saying, hey, stop this already. Like, stop talking about it. Like, you're going through it. Fine, cool, accept it, make the changes that you can and leave the rest alone. And I wasn't listening because now that I like am actively, intentionally telling myself, okay, I'm not going to talk about certain situations. Like, I'm just not going to. My neck has been so much better. I have felt more relaxed. Yes, I don't know what, but I've been very sensitive. I cry about everything, and no, it's not my period because it just came and left. So it's not that, but I'm just letting my feelings flow and just not talking about it. Like I'm like, okay, even if I am sad and people are like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I just don't really want to talk about it, but everything's cool. I've been feeling like things have been settling better and my body is responding to it. I guess because I'm not talking about it so much, like better and more positive energy is entering and things are like seem to be going into the right direction, with certain situations. And I'm feeling better. So it works. I mean, call it the law of attraction, call it like it's mental. I don't know, but try it, guys. Talk less, pray more, talk less, however you want to say it. And you will really like feel and see the change. And yeah, I hope everything made sense. I know I kind of bounced around, but I feel like I need to do that in order to articulate what I'm trying to say and organize my thoughts and feelings. So I really appreciate your patience and your love and listening in. Share the episode, guys. And thank you for coming to Chiquis and Chill. To chill, to learn, to grow, to glow, all the good stuff. I love you, and I will catch you on the next episode of Chiquis and Chill, okay? Alrighty. Besitos. Have a great day. This is a production of iHeartRadio and the My Cultura Podcast Network. Follow us on Instagram at My Cultura Podcast and follow me, Chiquis, that's CHIQUIS. For more podcasts from iHeart, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast.